رحمن رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن لله لله يهفو آملي لله ولحفظ كتاب الله من أول بسم الله للختم وللرضوان.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. To proceed, the most prominent characteristic of this ummah is definitely that us Muslims, walillahi alhamd, live our lives and practice this beautiful deen in the most just, balanced, and in a moderate way. And this is definitely in conjunction with no other than a beautiful injunction where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. And indeed, we have made you, O Muslims, a wasat nation. Now what does wasat mean here? It means just and balanced, between extremism and between negligence. See, what we got to understand is that things that are in the middle are always preserved, are protected and safe, while things that are on the edge or on the side or to an extreme, they are always subject to risk and danger. Where do you find the gem of a necklace? Where do you find it? On the side? The main gem of a necklace. You find it in the middle, protected. A leader of the people, when he sits amongst his people, generally he sits in the middle, protected. The sun is most effective, most powerful, most strong when it is in the middle of the sky, in its meridian. Man's peak, man's strength, man's power is when? In the middle of his life. See, moderation is stability, safety, preservation, while extremism and negligence is diversion, corruption, and destruction. This is the reality. Hence, we see that the sunnah of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam categorically condemns all forms of extremism, all forms of excessiveness. This great leader, this wise individual, the greatest man that ever existed on this earthly existence, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made sure that he himself and all of his companions acted and behaved in a moderate way. In a what? In a moderate way. Whenever he saw one of the companions, whenever he saw one of his companions go into extreme in worship, even though his intention was correct, he immediately reprimanded the companion, condemned that action, and did not remain silent. Because that would lead to destruction. Look at the example of Mu'adh ibn Jabal, the great Mu'adh ibn Jabal. Once he prolonged his prayer, so much so, the people started to complain. They ran to Rasulullah sallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, Mu'adh is praying too long. Did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam condemn those individuals who were complaining to him? No. He in fact went to Mu'adh and said to Mu'adh, Afattanun anta ya Mu'adh? Oh Mu'adh, are you putting people on trial? 3 times. Ya Mu'adh, are you putting people on trial? Meaning, what are you doing? If you want to pray long prayers, pray it in your own time. But there are those behind you who have work, who have things to do. Don't go extreme. In another narration of a similar scenario, he said, there are amongst you people who frighten people, who drive people away, who make people do less good deeds due to your excessive behavior, your extreme behavior. We all know the famous hadith where Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam refuted the 3 individuals who forbade for themselves the luxuries of this dunya, the lawful things of this dunya. You know the hadith very well. The one that said, I will pray all night. The other said, I would fast and not break fast. And the third said, I will not marry the woman because I want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believing that woman will interfere between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when Muhammad heard of this, what did he say? Great? No. He said, I am the one who fears Allah most. I am the most pious of all. Yet I pray and I sleep. I fast and I eat, break my fast. And I marry the woman. It's a moderate way, a middle path. Don't go too extreme. And I marry the woman. And then he said, whoever turns away from my sunnah, my moderate way, the middle path, he will not be from amongst my ummah. The famous hadith of Salman al-Farisi and Abu Darda, a beautiful hadith, when our beloved teacher sallallahu alayhi wasallam made the bond, the powerful bond of brotherhood between these 2 individuals, Salman al-Farisi and Abu Darda. One day, Salman traveled to Abu Darda to visit him. And he found his wife. He looked at his wife and she was in an unkept, shabby way, wearing clothes that were very shabby, unkept. He said, Ya Amr Darda, why? Why are you in such a state? She said, your brother, Abu Darda, has no desire, has no interest for the luxuries of this world. Meanwhile, who comes in? Abu Darda. So he sees Salman. He immediately makes a plate of food for him, presents it to him. But Salman said to him, no, I will not eat until you eat with me. He goes, but I am fasting, Ya Salman. He goes, come and eat. So he ate. Nighttime came. They both went to sleep. Suddenly, extremely soon after he put his head on his pillow, Abu Darda got up. Got up for what? To pray night prayer. Salman looked at him and said, Ya Abu Darda, what are you doing? I'm praying night prayer. Go to sleep, he said to him. Go to sleep. Abu Darda went back to sleep. So when the latter part of the night appeared, Salman got up, woke up Abu Darda and said, Ya Abu Darda, get up and let us pray together tahajjud. They prayed together. Once the prayer was completed, he said his golden statement. He goes, Ya Abu Darda, لأهلك عليك حق ولجسمك عليك حق ولدينك عليك حق. Ya Abu Darda, your family has a right over you. You've abandoned Abu Darda, in other words. You've abandoned her. Look at her state. Look at her state. Your body has a right of you. You fast. You pray all night. And your deen has a right upon you. So give every single one its due right. See how Islam is? How beautiful it is? See how beautiful this deen is? Give every single one its due right. Now Abu Darda was a bit sort of stunned. This is something strange to him. I'm doing something great, he thought. So he runs to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, this is what happened. What did the greatest man say to him sallallahu alayhi wasallam? He said, Salman has spoken the truth. Salman has spoken the truth. The famous hadith of Handala, a famous companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Handala one day said to himself, Handala has become a hypocrite. Handala has become a munafiq. Now this reached Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Rasulullah said to him, Ya Handala, why? Why in the world do you say that you have become a munafiq? He said, Ya Rasulullah, when I am in your company, we talk about Allah. We talk about the akhirah. We talk about doomsday. Tears drop from my eyes. My iman feels so powerful. But when I abandon you, I go home to my children. I play with my children. I talk to my wife. I enjoy my home. I feel my iman drops. I feel that I am a hypocrite. Listen to the wise, intelligent, smart words of the greatest teachers, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What was his reply? What did he say to him? He said to him, Ya Handala, if you were to remain, listen carefully, brothers and sisters, if you were to remain in the same state that you are with me all the time, the angels would come down and give you salam in the streets. They will shake your hand. Because you are not perfect like the angels. The angels are perfect in obedience. But we are not. We are not perfect. So he said to him, a time for this and a time for that. See, this is allowed in certain circumstances. Not saying a time where you you please Allah at a time where you please the devil. No, we're not saying this. As one brother once, I entered his car after Fajr prayer. He prayed Fajr on time. He listened to the Quran for a little while, and he was driving me home. So he puts the music on. I go, yeah, Akhi, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? He goes, Shaykh, a time for this and a time for that. I go, what? What, we worship Allah and we worship the devil? No. We worship Allah absolutely and completely. A time for this in halal and a time for that in halal, not in haram. Not in haram. There's a beautiful narration collected by Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari. He mentions it in Kitab al-Iman, the book of faith, under the title, Religion is Easy. He mentions the beautiful hadith of Abdul Rahman ibn Sakhar, better known as Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an, that our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the religion is easy. This is in Bukhari, brothers and sisters. The religion is easy. No one becomes harsh or strict in it without it overwhelming him, destroying him. So fulfill your duties as best you can and rejoice. What a beautiful hadith. Now this hadith beautifully outlines the qualities of moderation. The qualities of moderation. Where he said, so fulfill your duties. The Arabic word is saddidu, which means to aim, to put something or place something on target, like an arrow hits its mark. Like an arrow hits its mark, which implies that moderation does not mean going outside the Islamic law. See, what we've got to understand is that the concept of ease and moderation in Islam, in no shape, manner, or form, and understand this, in no shape, manner, or form, does it imply a relaxation, laxity, procrastination, compromise of the Islamic law. Nor does it imply that we follow our own inclinations. It must be strict in adherence to the Quran and to the Sunnah. And then he said, as best you can. Fulfill your duties as best you can. SubhanAllah, after providing the first quality of moderation, he complements it with this beautiful statement, as best you can, which indicates something very important. It indicates that perfection is not what is asked. It's not what is asked. We can never, ever be 100% perfect in our worship. Ever. Impossible. We can try. That's why he said, as best you can. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا. And all the verses and all the hadith refer to this important principle, that we worship Allah in the best way that we can. And Allah knows. Allah knows. Now there are two important issues here I would like to mention that we are currently experiencing. There are two extremes that people have entered. You know, you cannot really fulfill this lesson in one sitting. Impossible. You need months and months to in reality understand the correct clarification of this topic. However, there are two issues I would like to discuss because they are very important where people have entered or went into extreme. Many Muslims today have shunned or slandered or abused and accused all those who do not measure up to their opinions and views. All those who do not measure up to their opinions and their views. Being extremely abhorrent to all those who disagree with them. Slandering all those who do not agree with them. And they say that we are defending, this is the pretense, that we are defending the Islamic established principles. But the reality of the matter is, it is nothing other than a violation of the Islamic established principles. And it's only their own interpretation. There must be construed understanding of the sources. But the worst of them all, listen carefully, brothers and sisters, and I just hope that you do not fall into this category. The worst of Muslims are those who slander, who make takfir on the scholars of Islam. The worst of individuals are those who abuse and accuse and slander the true scholars of this deen. Wallahi, they are in reality making a direct slander of the religion of Islam, of this beautiful deen. How and why? Because when you slander a scholar or a da'i or a sheikh, you are casting doubts in people's minds. You are casting doubts in people's minds about the deen of Allah. The scholars, the da'is are those who teach, preach, clarify, convey this beautiful deen. So when you, a Muslim, who has not come out of the egg yet, who cannot even read Al-Fatiha, who believes that he is the scholar himself, when you start slandering the true scholars of Islam, what are you doing? You are deterring people from Islam. You are casting doubts about people, the Shaykh, who are teaching the word of Allah. Hence you see no one in front of them no more. All due to this noxious, wicked, evil, slanderous, venomous tongue of this individual who does not even know the meaning of Islam. But he's become the scholar of refutation. How many people are like this today? How many? How many people today waste their time in Kila wa Qal? This Shaykh, did you hear what he said? Really? He said this. We better get onto it. Get on Facebook right now. How many people preoccupy themselves, waste their times in searching for and following the mistakes of Mashaykh, following the mistakes of the da'is? How many? How many? Hence, when they find what they believe as something, they grab it. I've got him. I've got him. Yeah, is he perfect? Is a Shaykh perfect? Is a da'i perfect? No. He's a human being. He can make a million mistakes. He's a human being. Instead of slandering him, backbiting him, making takfir on him, calling him a mubtadi', a fasiq, a zalim, go and advise him. Go and advise him. But no, they want to launch vicious attacks behind their keyboard behind their keyboard, they're extremely macho and heroic when it comes to the computer. They've got their big turbans behind their computer. Behind them is all the Islamic books, and they're the scholars of refutation, launching vicious, evil, devilish attacks on those who spend their lives calling to Allah. On those who spend their lives calling unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is extremism. Extremism at its max. You cannot get more evil than this. And then what happens? Millions of Muslims today, fitna book. Millions and millions of readers from all around the world, in various countries, even in various continents, keep up to date with that which has been published from Qila wa Qal. What this Shaykh did, what this Shaykh said, what this Shaykh's opinion is. Ya akhi, is that what is asked of us? Is this what is asked of us? Go and worry about your own faults, your own mistakes. Go and search for and follow your own mistakes. For wallahi, you have the biggest mistake ever. You are committing the biggest mistake that you can ever commit in searching for other people's mistakes. Hasib nafsik. Go judge yourself. Go look at your own faults. Fix yourself up. Allah will not ask you about this Shaykh or this Shaykha. He will ask you about yourself. But He will ask you if you spoke one letter about this Shaykh and about this Shaykha. Wallahi. And every person that you affected and you deterred and you distanced from Islam, you are the reason. You will be held accountable for. Wallahi, some serious fitna occurs from this. The other extreme is these individuals. That's the first extreme. The other extreme on the other side, the same individuals, they want to be known. They want to be heard. They want to be famous. They want to be out there and called Shaykh and called knowledgeable and called alim. These are the same individuals, not knowing that the true scholars of Islam, the true righteous people of Islam, the greatest fear they ever had was what? The fear of fame and being recognized. The what? The fear of fame and being recognized. They feared this most. These are the true scholars. This is the true righteous days. Wallahi, some of them would even remove himself from a lesson when he saw too many people in front of him. As is mentioned in the Sunnah. One companion, when he saw too many individuals, he stood up and left. When he was asked, why? What did you leave for? You were supposed to give a talk. Because I fear that too many people are going to get to know me. I don't want this. They were scared, genuinely scared. Today we have people, supposed da'is, if they don't see a full house, they won't attend. They won't attend. You got other da'is who love fame, and they always ask those who upload YouTube footages, they say, oh, how many hits have I got today? How many hits? These are da'is we're talking about. Supposed da'is. How many hits? Who cares how many hits you have? Are you worried about how many people you have as followers? Is that what you care about? Ya Habib, what are we doing da'wah for? What do we practice Islam for? Why are we here? If we're here for fame, recognition, to be called, MashaAllah, I got this great knowledge behind me, Tabarakallah, then you are wasting your time. We're here for one reason, and that is to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the only reason we're here. We don't care about Ahmad or Zainab looking at us. We don't care about quantity. We don't care about dunya. Our end game is what? To get Allah's pleasure and win Jannah, inshaAllah ta'ala. That's all we care about. It's just not what we're living for. We are going back to Him, and He will judge you, not how many people you had, and they're not going to help you. Subhanallah, Dawood al-Ta'i mentioned something very profound, one of the great predecessors. He said, flee, listen to this profound statement, flee from the lion, flee from the people as you flee from a lion. Allahu Akbar. What do you say, Zunaid? Flee from the people as you would flee from the lion. And what does it mean? What does this mean? It means flee from the recognition or the fame or being known from the people as you would flee from a lion. Flee from fame. Flee from recognition. Flee from being known, just as you would flee from a lion. See, the lion, people, that's how I look at it. People are like the predator. The what? The predator. And your actions is the prey. Your actions, your righteous actions is like the prey. And people is like the predator, the beast, the ferocious, powerful, hungry beast. So if your actions is not sincerely for Allah, that beast will eat those actions. If your intention is not with ikhlas for Allah, that beast, the people, the lion will eat your deeds. Ibrahim ibn Adham said, a person who loves fame has not been sincere to Allah. A person who loves fame has not been sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Listen to the beautiful statement of Fudayl ibn Iyad. Wallahi, every single one of you should memorize this and live by it. He said, if you are able to get by without being known, then do so. What does it bother you if people do not praise you? What does it bother you if you are blameworthy in the sight of people? If in the sight of Allah you are praiseworthy. How beautiful. How beautiful. What does it bother you if people do not praise you? Who cares? I don't want praise from Abdullah or Qusay. I don't care less about their praise. I'm not going to sit down here, riba halal, yes, you can have it. First house, okay. But you're going to be my follower, you're going to come to my lessons every day? I don't care less. What I care about is one thing. To do da'wah ala basira. To teach Islam as it should be taught. No laffa or dabba or habba or dabba. No. No sweet talk. No dodgy going around the merry-go-round and going around the bush and trying to please people. This is not the style of a da'i. If you are here to hear what you want to hear, to satisfy your hawa, you won't get it. If you are here to listen to Islam, you will get it. What does it bother you if people do not praise you? And what does it bother you if you are blameworthy in the sight of the people, when in the sight of Allah, you are praiseworthy? Allahu Akbar. What a profound, beautiful statement. Allahu Akbar. Yazid ibn Abi Habib said something very nice as well. He said, from the fitna of a da'i is that speech becomes more pleasing to him than listening and silence. Then what? Listening and silence. Meaning, from the fitna, a problem that some da'is have, he does not want to listen to anyone else. Nor does he want to sit down and listen to anyone else. He always wants to be on the pedestal, the giver. This is a fitna. And this is why Sufyan al-Thawri said, if you are able to become a da'i, a preacher, a teacher of Islam, without being known, then do so, he said. He said, for wallahi, if people knew what was in your flesh, what was in you, they would eat you. They would eat you. And we know that another narration that mentions in conjunction with this, if sin had odor, you cannot sit next to anyone. What is it? If sin, Yahani, had what? You would not be able to sit next to anyone. Because we're all sinners. We all commit sin. Do we not? And we all commit a lot of sin. And if that sin in reality had a smell, had an odor, you cannot sit next to anyone. There's a beautiful story of Ibrahim ibn Adham. He was a marvelous man. Fascinating personality, wallahi, this great man. Great professor. He was once in his orchard, working in the fruit and so forth. This great scholar, Allahu Akbar. And a group of people entered the orchard and they were saying, where is Ibrahim ibn Adham? We were told that he is in the orchard. And they were talking to Ibrahim ibn Adham. But no one knew him face to face. They never saw his face, this group of people. So they went into the orchard and said, yeah, Ibrahim, where are you? And he comes out. He said, who are you looking for? They said, we want to talk to Ibrahim, the great Shaykh. He goes, who's Ibrahim? This is Ibrahim. We were told he's in the orchard. He goes, really? I will look for him as well. Let's go and look for him. Ya Ibrahim. And he's calling himself, Ya Ibrahim. Why? He did not want to even be known. This is a real scholar. This is a genuine scholar. Brothers and sisters, what we've got to understand is Allah will judge you. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and don't indulge yourself in kila wa qal. Don't involve yourself with gossip, with what this person said or that person said. Who cares? Worry about your own faults and fix your own faults up. Busy yourself in obtaining beneficial knowledge. Do you want to be amongst the destroyers or amongst the builders? Do you want to build, benefit yourself and others, or do you want to destroy yourself and others? Obtain beneficial knowledge and be amongst those who are builders, not destroyers. Keep away from harshness, rudeness, from wickedness, from backbiting. Keep away from everything haram to the best of your capability. Turn that evil, devilish gadget called the computer. Turn it off. Turn it off. In particular, fitna book. These people who go on Facebook day and night, you are hurting yourself. You are hurting yourself. I guarantee you, and Allah Ta'ala a'lam, if Rasulullah sallam saw this evil today, Allahu a'lam if he would even consider us amongst his ummah. Wallahi. If he only could see what is occurring today and what we are doing and taking it as so light, day and night, wasting our time on this Facebook or on Twitter or MySpace. All of it, the devilish space. All of it. An instrument where the shaitan lurks and lurks and lurks and destroys you without you even knowing. It's like stealthying you. He steals you in a way that you cannot even see it. And you don't know it. You think you're doing something great. But a'udhu billah, if only you knew what you were doing to yourself. Learn Islam and don't waste time. Don't be lazy. Don't go out and just waste your time. Go out and learn Islam from the correct, true scholars of Islam. Because you cannot learn Islam and acquire this beautiful acquisition by simply lingering about, by simply wishing, by procrastination, or being lax towards it. You know, Yahya ibn Abi Kathir mentions in Sahih al-Muslim, he says that knowledge can never ever be obtained while relaxing. Knowledge can never ever be attained or achieved by or while relaxing. And I advise you all, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve you and strengthen you, to stay between the two extremes and to be moderate, without compromise, without laxity, without procrastination. Make sure you do that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, and make sure you do it in the style of a middle, moderate path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen you all and grant you, inshallah, that which He loves and distance you from all that which He does not love.